it's your first time on a masterclass with me, or if it's your 10th or 11th time on a masterclass with me, I just want to show gratitude and appreciation because without y'all family, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Um, there is no me in the realm that I'm in, right? Without you guys consistently showing up, and you're not showing up for me, you're showing up for yourself. But as you show up for yourself, it allows me to kind of have that fuel to continuously show up for you as well, right? Because that's what I'm here to do, is to serve. I'm here to put you in position. I'm here to give y'all information that you probably would have paid thousands of dollars for on another platform, right? But my goal is to be a good steward of the audience that I have, the people that's tapped in with me, right? So, like I say, man, I appreciate you too, Mike. I appreciate y'all, man. And like I say, tonight is going to be, it's going to be super special. All right. Tonight, what we will be jumping into is how to construct a 700 plus FICO score. There's a difference between FICO and Vantage. How to structure solid comparables. We don't add credit builders to our profile. We don't add Covo. We don't add Best Egg. We don't add Upgrade, Upstart, particular comparables like that because they're low tier. We're going to structure with solid comparables. So whenever we walk into the bank, they are competing to lend us money. And then literally, I'm going to be breaking down how you can obtain your FIRS anywhere from 100 to 250,000, depending on what your credit profile looks like, and 0% capital. And I'm going to be breaking down how we can do this in less than 6 months. If you follow the strategy, I promise you, you have access to $100,000 at 0% interest, according to a correct profile, in less than 6 months, right? So with that being said, man, this is the prayer right here, man. Y'all screenshot this, right? Screenshot it, post it on Instagram, post it on your stories. Let people know, like, listen, man, what we doing in here going forward in 2026 is different. You know what I'm saying? So screenshot this, tag me, and I'm gonna repost it for each and every one of us. Cause like I say, man, without y'all showing up for yourself each and every week, man, I don't know. I don't know how I would spend this time. You feel me? So also, Alvin is in the chat. I'm pretty sure y'all can see him right there. Alvin James, he's a part of the team. And this is the major announcement that I wanted to jump into tonight. Typically, I come on here and I say, hey, grab my $47 ebook bundle, or grab my personal credit ebook, my business credit ebook. But for anybody that is willing to go to that next level, this is what I am building out specifically for you guys right here. I know not everyone can afford the 1997 mentorship program, right? Very well worth it. I see a lot of mentees in here tonight. Shout out to the mentees in the building. I know that not everyone can afford that in this particular time of season, right? No matter pretty much where you at. Like, we got, listen, them kids don't care nothing about no financial literacy. They want them presents under the tree. So I understood what it meant for people to kind of have to decide on investing into yourself or investing into your children. So I wanted to kind of put something together for everybody to the new school group. This is the Reinvented Credit Mastery. It's $99 a month, family. If you feel like you come in there and you don't get no gain from it, then you can just cancel. You only spent $99, but within that, you also get a not a one-on-one. You actually get a group call with me. This will be happening next Tuesday, to where you can come and blitz me with all of your questions. So if you were to join just to pay $99 to come and ask me one question, would that be worth it? Y'all let me know in the chat. To be able to ask me, and you're going to be able to ask multiple questions. It's rapid fire Q&A. So if you come with 5 or 6 questions, I'm going to make sure I answer each and every one of your questions whenever you jump on these Zoom calls. So would it be worth $99 a month to kind of get guidance on where you at, whether it's your funding business, whether it's you're struggling with credit, funding sequences, so on and so forth, to just be able to ask me 4 or 5 questions, right? And on top of that, you're going to be getting access to all of these modules as they are being built out. So we already have the personal credit mastery that's already laid out. This weekend, I'm shooting updated information. By the way, the reason why it is taking so long for the people that has been asking is because I don't want to give y'all information that has been regurgitated and things that was applicable in 2021. I'm not talking about anybody else's course. I'm solely focusing on myself, and I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. But what I hear coming from the mentees, coming from a lot of you guys, from feedback is that everybody is selling the same exact information. So what I'm doing is going through and I am extracting updated info to put into this course to make sure you don't need to go anywhere else. Right. And for only $99 a month, you can get access to it. Alvin's going to drop it in the chat. Take advantage of it. And once again, you could pay for 1 month. If you don't get no value out of it, you can cancel. No harm, no foul. Now, I want some transparency tonight. All right. I told y'all tonight is going to be just a little bit different. Drop 100 in the chat if I can be all the way straightforward and honest with each and every single one of y'all tonight. Drop it in the chat. Matter of fact, let me give y'all, because we deep in here tonight. So let me do this real quick. Hold on. Let me make sure everybody attendees can chat with everyone. So now what y'all got to do whenever you go into the chat, you see it says it says host and panelists. If you click down under that and it says to everyone, now everyone can see the chat. I want us interacting with each other because listen, what I prayed for, everybody coming into this room today, this is not by coincidence. I didn't ask you to share out the link. I didn't ask you to do any of that. This is not by coincidence. This is divine appointment to put ourselves in financial position for 2026 and also put our kids in financial position, right? I see them hundreds coming in. All right. Who is Doug Washington? Why am I qualified to speak to you? First and foremost, as you guys already know, I am a firm believer in God. Everything that I have obtained thus far, knowingly and unknowingly, is all credit to him. I appreciate you guys showing me the love, but it's through him working through me to be able to present to you guys. I'm a father of 3 kings. I'm a husband. I'm an investor. I'm a coach to 1,500 plus students. I'm a travel hacker. And more than likely, the reason why y'all here is simply because I funded myself we're about 2.5 right now. I was supposed to close out 2025 over 3 million. I haven't quite went on that funding sequence yet because I don't really need it for nothing. I don't have any investments that I'm looking to jump into, but I am structuring that new deposits, right? I'm structuring brand new banking relationships. I'm putting myself in position so my next funding round can easily be about $500,000. And that's what I want to teach each and every single one of y'all tonight is to understand you must put yourself in position. The bank will never give you money whenever you need it. I'm going to repeat that again for everybody who don't understand. The bank will never give you money whenever you need it. That's why we go out and get or structure banking relationships, not necessarily when we need it to put ourselves in position so we can just walk in there, right? Now let's develop some reflective perspective. Be honest with yourself. You can either drop it to host and panelists, you can drop it to everyone, or you can just sit there and answer for yourself. Are you comfortable with your 2025 results? If you are, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine if you are. But only you know what you could have done that you did not do, right? Because if you come to me, mentees are coming and say, Dub, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. And I'm like, man, it seems like you putting in the work, but you're still missing something. Janae said, yes, because my mindset has altered and guided me here. That is a great answer, Janae. I like that. I like that. Bank account, no skills, yes, absolutely. But listen, man, it's more than one realm, right? It's more than one realm that we need to operate in. So once again, if you are perfectly fine, but now this literally puts you in prime position to start planning for 2026. If you have not already started planning for 2026, you are behind the 8 ball already. Some of y'all are going to wait, man, it's January the 1st. I'm going to start posting content in January. I'm going to start going to the gym in January. I'm going to start doing everything in January. Let me tell you, you can get a 20-day start, 21-day start if you were to start today. So imagine what an extra 20 reps or extra 20 days of consistency will look like for you as you go into January, as we go into 2026. So just some reflective perspective for everybody. Just ask yourself, like, listen, man, I know I'm not where I want to be, but I know I got a lot more work to do. But the thing is, you in perfect timing. For the people that said you are not comfortable with where you are in 2025, that's great that you have insight. That's great that you still want to strive, but you are perfectly aligned with where you want to be at. I thank God that he didn't bless me with a multi-million-dollar business my first year of business. You see what I'm saying? I would have fumbled that bag so bad. But Let's jump into it, man. Exposure, the key word tonight. Exposure awakens an appetite for something you previously did not know existed due to the lack of exposure to it. Exposure awakens an appetite for something that you previously didn't even know it existed. I didn't understand I wasn't able to comprehend that $100,000 a month was something that was easily obtainable. I thought that only rappers, I thought that only celebrities, I thought that only professional athletes, I thought that was the only way that people could make that type of money until I got around people that does $1 million in a month. Man, listen, let me show you whenever you get around other people. Shout out to one of my mentors. By the way, I have a lot of them. Shout out to one of my mentors, Dion Coopwood, right? You get around Dion, man, you be like, bro, he just opened your mind to other things. So that's whenever I talk about the exposure. You see what I'm saying? Exposure awakens an appetite for something. I was comfortable sitting around. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, sitting around doing $40,000, $50,000 a month. I'm like, bro, I'm straight with this. Like, bro, this is life. I mean, I can't go and buy no private jet, but I mean, if I wanna, if I want to fly the family out first class to wherever, we can kind of do that. But then you get around other people and they like, bro, like, why you slacking, bro? You only doing like 40 or 50. Like, bro, listen, man, you got so much potential in you. And once again, you getting around other people who will expose the flaws in you, not to hate on you, but to uplift you and push you to that next level is mandatory in 2026. Right. So that's what I'm gonna be doing tonight for y'all is exposing y'all to techniques and strategies to put yourself in position. You are not going to save your way to 100,000. You're for sure not going to save your way to $1 million, right? If you do, by the time you obtain it, right, saving wise, you've missed out on so many opportunities. So we need to understand how to leverage the banking sector, bank auditing, how to walk into these institutions and demand what is prone for us. Now, let me get some more interaction. What's the financial goal for 2026? Y'all let me know your financial goal for 2026. Put it in the chat, or you can write it down, put it on your phone, put it on your phone screen, save it as your screensaver, do anything so you can continuously look at that to understand what your why is. We're going to get into the whys here in a second too. We are going to get into the whys here in a sec. Actually, let's jump into the whys right now. We need to switch our whys with whos. I'm going to say that one more time. We need to switch our whys with whos, because some of y'all whys, WHY, your why is not strong enough. That's why you are complacent with where you currently are and you're not seeking to go a lot further. You haven't been exposed to bigger rooms. Some of y'all are the biggest fish in the pond that you in. You should want to get in rooms to where you are pretty much your perspective is respected, but it's not taken. I hope that makes sense. I used to be the biggest fish in the smallest pond. I'm like, okay, it feels kind of good to be in this room and everybody, Dub, man, how you do this? This is, and then I went into other rooms and I'm like, yo, my brother doing $2 million a month. Okay. Oh, you doing 500,000 a month? Okay. These are the rooms that I want to be in. And listen, let me be very specific here. It's not even the financial aspect of being the smallest fish in the pond. We got to get into health. We got to get into finances. We got to get into spirituality. We got to get into mindset. It's not just, you need mentors in every category. You need mentors who can guide you in the direct way with spirituality. You need mentors that can guide you in the correct way with marriage and entrepreneurship. You need mentors that can put you in perspective with God and money, because you don't want to have an idol out of money that leads you away from the Lord. It's so many different things, but let me know your financial goal for 2026 in the chat, or you can just say it out loud. My next question for you: how much did you invest into access? Duh, what you mean by access? How much did you invest into? I hate to say information, because some of y'all, and Please do not put no names in the chat. I listen, I gave y'all the ability to kind of talk to everyone in the room. So please don't say no names. But some of y'all have invested into courses and you ain't get no information. So your intentionality was to invest into this course for information. You didn't get any information. So you deem it as a scam. You deemed it as a waste of money. But you got access to that mentor, whether it's virtual or in person, whatever the case is, or you invested to get access to the community of leaders and thought leaders that they develop just from being an overall genuine person. So how much did you invest into access this year? The goal from your 2026 financial goal should at least be 30 to 40% of what you invested into access. I hope I'm making sense here, but we're going to keep it moving. Because whenever I found mentorship, also known as access, that's what a lot of people, we often take the thought process of investing into a mentorship that we're going to make money right away. Most mentorships that you join, you don't make the money back right away. I mean, unless you join mine. But anyway, whenever I found mentorship, my life changed because you got access to different people. Not only do you get access to different people, you get access to different exposures, you get access to different mindsets, you get access to different investment strategies. So once again, family, whenever I invested my first $2,500, as we know here, you should be very familiar with the story. May 2021 was whenever I first invested into entrepreneurship. This was May 2022, right? This was May 2022. So I'm not going to say I did make my money back quickly, but it took a full year for me to be recognized for an investment that I made the year before. I hope y'all get where I'm going with this. Because oftentimes we invest $2,500, $10,000, and then we looking to get it back the next month. But once again, like I tell you, you need a multitude of mentors, right? And this is just, I need to update this because I have so many mentors now. It's crazy. But I first invested with Marcus. That was my first mentorship, the scariest $2,500 that I ever spent, right? The scariest $2,500 ever spent. But guess what? I got access to my brother Herman from investing into that $2,500 program that Marcus had. Not only did I get introduced to Herman, I got invested to some of my best friends, some of my business partners, and we've made a lot of money from a $2,500 investment. So it's not always about the information that you're getting from the mentorship. It is oftentimes the access who you have the ability to rub shoulders with. This was just on my birthday, right? I still didn't stop investing into myself up until last month. I'm investing another $15,000. And listen, y'all, whenever I tell y'all what I invested this $15,000 for, you're gonna be like, bro, wait, what? I invested this $15,000 to learn how to speak. I'm gonna say that one more time. I invested $15,000 to learn how to communicate better. That is the single most, hear me out here, the single most important skill set that you can have as an entrepreneur or business owner, in my opinion. I'm at the barbershop today. Y'all like, duh, like, here you go with the stories again. But I just, this is the last call of 2025. So I just want to make sure I just leave everything on the table with y'all. Y'all might as well go ahead and get you some water, sit back, relax. We're going to get to the money, trust me. But I'm in a barbershop today, and the conversation was going on. Anybody that is familiar with the head coach of Michigan and what's going on, that was the topic. So if you know, you know, I'm not going to elaborate on that, but that was the topic at hand. And my barber says, well, I feel I'm not even gonna repeat what he said. He had a very strong opinion and viewpoint on something. And I'm a person who's gonna sit back and say, you know, there's different perspectives to everything. But he say, what's the difference between It's a male trait that he was describing. And he said males have a certain trait. And it doesn't matter if it's an animal, it doesn't matter if it's a human, it doesn't matter if it's no matter what, a male is going to have a certain trait. And he said, so what's the difference between this or that? I say, this is the thing right here. I say humans are the only creation that's made in a likeness of you know who, of God, which means that we are the only creation who have the ability to communicate and think for ourselves and understand decisions. So whenever I tell you that I invested $15,000 on being able to communicate better, you got to understand it's not just about Airbnb and real estate and Turo and business acquisition and funding sequences. It's more to it than that. You got to be able to or understand and want to perfect your craft before you can go to that next level. So the moral of the story here, family, is that you will never stop investing into yourself, right? And guess what? I paid the $15,000 to learn how to communicate better. What I'm going to do is bring it back to my community so y'all can take the small nuggets that I'm dropping to y'all so you can go and communicate better. This is what I mean by whenever I say multiply. Now, let's get to the money. Why is this training important tonight? What's the time frame? Okay, I didn't do too bad. We at 8:30. That's perfect. 34% or 1 out of 3 Americans have bad or fair credit, resulting in 1 out of every 3 denials, or 1 out of every 3 will be denied for credit. That is way too much. If you want to get super strategic and you want to niche down to a certain ethnicity, if you say the Black and brown minority communities, we at about 2 out of 3 is going to be denied for credit, right? Which is unacceptable because you see a lot of Black and brown entrepreneurs, Black and brown business owners that's teaching financial literacy, so on and so forth. So we have to do something about that first and foremost. Forget about getting your first 100,000, 200,000, $1 million for all I care. We have to understand that the system is designed a certain way and it is designed to be leveraged and manipulated a certain way. But we've been accustomed to looking at it only from one perspective. 1 out of 3 Americans being denied for credit is unacceptable. 33% of businesses fail within the first 2 years due to lack of experience and access to funding. Here's another fun fact. 83% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So if you started in 2020, when I started my business, when a lot of us just got into the world of business, right? Entrepreneurship, when COVID hit, because we had a rude awakening. If you survived this far, man, listen, I want to salute you. I want to give you applause from myself. We made it. We are the what's that, 17%? If it's 83%, then yeah, 17% that made it to the 5 years. 83% of businesses fail within the first 5 years, 33 within the first 2, but 83 within the first 5. So if you have made it to 5 years in business, I want to salute you and continue to grow, continue to build. Banks are in a credit crunch, meaning that it is harder to get access to capital along with more requirements. I don't know if any of y'all have went on a funding sequence lately, but banks are asking for docs. Banks are asking for bank statements. They're asking for tax returns. They're asking for things that they typically didn't ask for in 2020, 2023, 2024. And that's why I'm on here tonight and building out this new school group. So for us to be able to come together and get updated data points, not things that work back 4 or 5 years ago. For a lot of us who don't know, whenever we're going to set up NAICS code, it's not a restricted industry per se, but we have a lot of defaults in the marketing, in the consulting NAICS code, 541611. If you go and look over the past 5 years, that is a high default rate NAICS. Just the FYI to throw out there for everybody. So whenever you go into other courses and you see, okay, we're going to set up our NAICS code and we're going to use consulting because it's a broad indicator, and we use NAICS code 541611, 541613, You have to understand that information applied in 2020, that information applied in 2021. And yes, you still can go and set it up. Yes, you still can get access to funding, but it will not be max exposure. It won't be the max funding. Why? Because if you look over the past 5 years, that industry, primarily the Black and brown communities, leverage that NAICS code, and we have the highest default rate on credit cards. So if you are a minority, if you're in a Black and brown community and you come in there with NAICS code 541611, you already are fighting an uphill battle, family. I just want y'all to understand that. So whenever I say we have to get with the times, it's like whenever you go into the store and you see somebody paying with cash. For some, I'm like, yo, like people still pay with cash. Like it's the equivalent of that. Now it still works, but it's not as efficient. Not only are you not getting points back, but you carrying around heavy money, let alone some change. But anyway, let me stay on point tonight because I don't want to prolong this more than I have to. Most business owners never make it past the initial first round of funding, anywhere from 50 to 150,000, due to the lack of banking knowledge. So you go out, you go to Navy Federal, you go to PenFed, you go to DCU, you go to Bank of America, you get a funding sequence. You may even buy a secret lenders list for some people, may even pay for funding, and you get all access to all of this capital, but you don't understand that 0% phase, hopefully you got it, that 0% interest phase is going to run out. And you have to have the correct banking knowledge, understand how to build out structure sequences to continuously get access to capital. That's one of the things that most business owners fail at doing, is making it past their initial first round of funding. It's a cycle. We go through, we get 50 to 100,000, we invest into an investment tool, and then it doesn't go our way. We get behind on the credit card bills. The interest is piling up. We can't keep up because the investment didn't go the way that we thought it was going to go, so on and so forth. And guess what? You're back in credit repair, and then you clean your credit, and then you're going to get you another 50,000 to 75,000. Then you invest into the wrong investment tool again, and then it's a constant cycle. I see it so much. I see it so many times. But we must have the correct banking knowledge to position ourselves. Strategy. I can't say this too many. Strategy. Strategy is the most important factor whenever we credit stacking. Now, just in case someone sent you this Zoom link, or you just so happen to stumble on here because you was on my Instagram stories or whatnot, credit stacking is whenever we strategically go and apply for credit cards in a order. We don't want to, I'm gonna throw a few things out there. We don't want to go to American Express, Truist, and PNC first. Why? Because they're not that inquiry sensitive. We want to go to Bank of America, Chase, Barclays, Citi. We want to go to these institutions first because they are inquiry and new account sensitive. So whenever you credit stacking, we must understand, when should I apply for certain products? I don't need to be going for American Express on my first few credit cards. All right. We need to understand inquiry sensitive, new account sensitive. Very, very important information. Once again, that word comes up: strategy. Developing a strategy once you obtain your initial round of funding sets you up for future rounds. I have been teaching this, family, just the FYI, since 2022. I started my mentorship in October of 21. I have been teaching this since early 2022 with taking the money. Back then it was manufactured spending. We didn't have anybody to liquidate the money off the cards for us, so we had to get busy on our own hitting these stores. So we was manufactured spending, taking the money off of the card, getting paid for taking the money off the card. But before we paid that credit card back, especially a business credit card, we're going to leverage that 0% APR phase and go and deposit to other institutions. As we deposit into the other institutions, they lend us money based on our deposits. They lend us money based on our deposits. We get access to the capital, and then we pay the original credit card back and then ask them for more money. we're gonna get into the visual here before the end of the night over with. Just imagine passively earning somebody's salary, all because you understand how to leverage credit cards. A lot of people, we're working way too hard for the fiat that we get. Anybody doesn't know what fiat is, that is cash, that's currency, right? In a sense. We're working way too hard for the little bit of money that we get. Why we can't leverage where we at? Why we can't leverage this thing right here? Right? Why we can't leverage metal, this little metal card right here, a plastic card that you may have. We need to learn how to leverage this to get us to where we want to go. Now let's jump into how I obtain over $1 million from Amex. I typically average around 150,000 in spending power with Amex. I have about 16 credit cards from them. That's fun, but I want to show you how I did it. You don't care about, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and y'all can be honest too. Let's get some realness going on. Do y'all really care about what I have done for me and my family? I know it's cute to see the boys on social media and you say, oh, Dub, they cute, this, that, and the other, but you really don't care what I've done for my family. You only here to benefit what I can do from you. And I understand that. It's no hard feelings. Let's just go ahead and get that out the way. I know you're only here for what I can do for you. And that's why I don't take this time lightly, because you could be doing a multitude of other things. It's the holidays, family in town, and the fact that you are here with me tonight. I want to show extreme gratitude. I'm going to be breaking down how I got over $1 million from one Amex, $1 million from one issuer, which is American Express. Now, personal credit is the blueprint, is that foundation, is the overall concrete of what everything is built off of. You fix your personal credit, you change your life. Whenever you got good credit, I'm just gonna be honest with you, you get treated differently, right? Whenever I can pull this out right here, and I get strange looks from people whenever I'm using it, or whenever I'm at the airport, or me and my I hope I don't offend nobody here, but I'm just gonna be all the way real with you. Me and my black kids are in the lounge, right? And then they in there eating up all of the food, and I'm like, yeah, like we supposed to be in here. I used to kind of be, y'all don't be too loud, but now I'm like, listen, bro, like I work hard to get this car. I work hard to get y'all in this position, but everything is on the basis of your personal credit. How do we build a true FICO? Quick recap: payment history, utilization, also known as amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit, and your credit mix. This is what's going to make up a credit report. Very important. I don't want y'all to skip over that part. All right. The first step in repaying your personal credit should pull a tri-merge credit report, right? Take note of any inaccurate information, address, names, date of birth, account information, etc. Right? Janae said, I watched a man win $100 for answering this on social proof. Let's get it. Let's get it. Take note of any inaccurate informations. And we're gonna get law busy here in a second. But the law says that everything on your credit report must be 100% accurate, not 99, not 99.9. If you have an account that's 1234123, and then that's what is reflected on Experian, but the account says 12341XX, that's not accurate. By law, it states that it must be 100% accurate. The account information, or the account name, the account number, all of that must match up across the bureaus. If not, it's grounds for removal. So the first step, whenever you pull your tri-merge credit report, you want to take note of any inaccurate informations, right? Personal information, while we here: one name, one address, one date of birth, one employer, family. The employer is very, very, very important. Why is the employer important, Doug? Because if you go in and we are leveraging stated income at a lot of these institutions, we're still building out a deposit relationship. FYI, we're still going to build out this 60 to 90-day deposit relationship. And whenever we go in to apply for a business line of credit, a business credit card, whatever product that you desire, they're going to look at all of this information. What does your address say about you? Right? Name and date of birth, not too big of a deal. But the address and your employer are very important things that the underwriters and bankers are judging you off of. There's no way that you can be working as a overnight stocker at Walmart, at Target, at anywhere, and you're telling them that you're making 2.3 million a year. By the way, 2.3 million is a data point. I'm just letting it all out to y'all. In 2025, for stated income, that was the thing. FYI, for my people that's lost. Stated income, that was the parameters that we kind of use. Oh, we made 2.3 million in business revenue and this, and it flew, right? Until it didn't anymore. So I'm here to give y'all updated strategies that you can take into 2026 to either get your self-funding or your clients funding. Now, whenever I speak about the employers, we don't want our employer to be, let's just say, unless it's a government job and you've been there for years, that's great. That's a great comparable. But if you have, you know, stock building supply, or you have whatever job that you're working at, that's a W-2, go ahead and have your LLC as your employer, because there's no cap on what you can pay yourself. But if they go, and once again, as you get deeper into funding sequences and you start going for business lines of credit and things like that, the underwriters are going to be looking at all of this information to determine if you fit into the risk exposure. And something as simple as having Walmart, Target, Bass Pro Shops, for example, anything as an employer that could stop you from getting access to $50,000 or more. You could be going for $100,000, $150,000 business line of credit, but because your employer says Walmart, I don't know if this person can handle 150,000 if the average salary for a Walmart employee is, let's just say, 75,000. So that's very, very important. I want everybody to understand. After we go through, pull a tri-merge credit report, highlight any inaccuracies with the personal information. We haven't even gotten to the deep of the payment index and all of that. Step number 2, we want to opt out of the, I'm gonna get tongue twisted here, the primary, secondary consumer reporting agencies. So the primary SCRAs, right? Before you send that first round of disputes. Why? Because Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they rely on LexisNexis, Innovid, SageStream, ARS, CoreLogic, and the other secondary consumer reporting agencies to keep up with all of the account information and to validate it, right? So if they're not housing the information, and then by law, if you go into a verification letter, where did you verify this information from? If you go to the place where the information is held at and you opt out of them, where can TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax verify that they got the information from? Because if you say you got it from Innovis or SageStream and I've opted out of them, this is why we do it first. I hope I'm making sense here. Because whenever you do this first, you pretty much tell them, I don't give you permission to provide information about me. All you have to do is opt out. You opt out and then they still report it. Now somebody can be taken to court. Because once I opt out, I got rights as a consumer. You are violating my rights as a consumer. We got to start getting nasty like that with these guys. You feel me? So if they are relying on these secondary consumer reporting agencies to house certain information on negative accounts, so on and so forth, and you opt out, where are they going to verify it from? We want to catch them. We want to catch them, right? Now, ChexSystems is another one that we must be on point with. Secondary consumer reporting agency, but it's not for credit cards. It's not for delinquencies, so on and so forth. It collects and reports data on checking account applications and openings and the closures with the reason for it. Now, if you're in ChexSystems, I dropped it in the community. There's a whole bunch of banks that's offering a second chance checking account to start rebuilding your banking history. By the way, if you have trouble with ChexSystems, you probably can't even open up a checking account anywhere. Y'all ever seen people? Now I used to work at the warehouse, man. I think it's All Point. It was something like that. So they'll give you a little prepaid card that they load the money on, and you can only go to certain ATMs and pull that money out. Is nothing more aggravating than to see that now. I'm like, with all of this information out here in 2025, we have to be like, come on, fam, we got to do just a little bit better, right? Also, outside of check systems, you have Bank of America as co-owners of early warning services. Bank of America, Capital One and Discover, JP Morgan and Chase, PNC Truist, Wells Fargo, US Bank, they co-own EWS, meaning that they are housing information that they can share on you because guess what? It's for a nonprofit. They don't make any profit off of this. So certain laws that they have to abide by with reporting certain activity on your checking account, so on and so forth, it's a fine line in there that they are able to do this with. So what I want you to do is understand, if you mess up with one of these banks, don't think that other institutions not go. You see what I'm saying? Don't think that they're not saying, PNC is not telling Truist if you have, let's just say, financial trouble or things like that. They're sharing information on you, and nobody else is probably going to tell you this. I'm just peeling back a layer for you to be able to look at the banking sector very, very in a unique way, right? Because some of y'all went through credit repair and you say, okay, I had PNC removed off of my credit. I had Truist removed off of my credit. I had Wells Fargo. Yes, you had it removed off of your credit. Yes, other issuers or underwriters can't see it, but what about the banks that they underwrite for? So, FYI, you really never want to run off on any bank or credit union, but if you do, just make sure it's not a major underwriter, because even though it's removed off of your credit, you're still in the book of business. So they still remember you. If you run off on Rico, and you do a charge back on Rico and you try to come and purchase my program, more than likely you're gonna get refunded. Cause I'm like, listen, family, I already see what type of person you are. We good. So just keep that in mind as y'all go through your credit repair journey. Now, this is what check system looks like. They literally have so much information. It's much more in depth, but I just want to give you a snapshot of it. Check systems, they're gonna literally say deposit account activity, so on and so forth. Utility inquiries within the last 3 years, credit issuance inquiries in the last 3 years. All of this right here. Open insufficient balances in the last 2 years. So anytime that you go on and you don't pay a bank back, overdraw a checking account, that's going to be in your check systems report. So if you do have that issue, let's opt out of check systems. Let's just simply opt out of check systems. You don't have to worry about. Let's go to the next one. Teletrack. Teletrack. A lot of people don't talk about this. And once again, I'm here to give you applicable things for 2026, right? Check this out. Auto finance inquiries within the last 7 years, right? Not that big of a deal. What I want you to see is this: cash advance inquiries in the last 7 years, cash advance inquiries in the last 24 months, cash advance inquiries within the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Why is this important? If you are saying that you make 1.5 million a year, $2 million a year, your credit score is good, all of this and the other, why are you taking a cash advance on your credit cards? Why are you taking a cash advance on your credit cards if you have cash flow coming into the business? These are things that you never even thought about that is being reflected on your secondary consumer reporting agencies. So whenever you go in and apply for a credit card, guess what the underwriter is looking at? Now, if you want to go and apply for 5,000, 7,500, 10,000, they may or may not really look too much into it because it's not that big of, it's not that big of risk exposure. But whenever we're going for max exposure, whenever we're going for $75,000, $100,000 on these business credit cards, we're going for $200,000 business lines of credit. All of this is important. Because if you're making the revenue that you say that you're making on this application, 1.3 million, 2.3 million, there's no way that you just took out a cash advance. Keontae said, let me read this comment real quick. I'm just going to be honest. I thought I was going to be in a webinar to get some good knowledge and encouragement, but instead it's discouraging me more because I've already tried to start my LLC as consulting, but now I'm finding out consulting is not a good move anymore. I spent so much money setting my LLC. It just seemed like I dug myself into a deeper hole and I thought I was getting myself out of one. Keontae, listen, never give up, family. So what you can do, I like the transparency. So Keontae said that, right? I like the transparency, but you can switch Nate's code by just operating in a different sector. So instead of doing 541611, you do consulting for a specific industry. You do consulting for marketing. So instead of 541611, we do 541619. Instead of doing let's just say um trailers, the trucking, you do consulting for trucking. It's out. Listen, family, I had to bless you with that one because I felt the discouragement. So you always can kind of pivot and change your Nate's code by explaining to whoever you're applying for credit with, this is the NAICS that I'm in. Whenever I signed up, I used 541611, but in our reality, is be reflected on your business credit report on Experian. I actually do consulting for truckers. So instead of 541611, I'm 541619, if I'm not mistaken on that NAICS. Y'all don't quote me on that. But just being able to pivot and having access to this information, knowing the things that you didn't know, family, that's what's stopping you. So that's a gem for you right there, Keontae. I appreciate the transparency. Step number 3, once we verify all the personal information matches, we want to ensure that it matches our active driver's license. This helps with identity verification in the funding process, right? Now, whether you are using Metro 2 or consumer law, we want results. I know most people get into, are we leveraging AI and we doing this? And listen, family, whatever gets you to deletion, because 2025 should be the last year that we go through credit repair. I love my brother Joshua Rico to death, but this should be the last year that we have to go through credit repair if you are going through it. From 2026 and beyond, we should be building our credit. Not repairing it. We passed that now. We had fun. We splurged a lot of money. And my brother Alvin just dropped the credit repair link for anybody that needs credit repair. Please sign up with that link right there. $99 a month to get credit repair. So listen, check this out. For $99 a month, you can get credit repair. And an additional $99 a month, you can learn how to build your profile with my school community while you are going through credit repair. So as soon as you get that last negative item deleted, you're ready to go for funding. Merry Christmas. Never wait until you already went through credit repair to start rebuilding and building out a deposit relationship. Let's go ahead and do it while we're going through the phase, because the bank don't know that your credit is bad until you apply for a credit card or apply for a loan. Meanwhile, while we're going through credit repair, guess what we're going to do? We're going to build out, which is my next slide, we're going to build out the deposit relationships. So let's get law busy real quick. First off, quick recap though, we went through, we got a letter in the mail. They said this is an attempt to collect in debt, blah, 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 right? Now we know that we need credit repair or we need to do it ourselves. We're going to make sure a tri-merge credit report. Once we pull the tri-merge credit report, we're going to try to look and find any inaccuracies. Then we're going to go and update our personal information to make sure it matches our active driver's license. First, full, middle, and last. Not first, middle, initial, and last. First, full, middle, and last. Full, middle. Now we went through that and I was like, okay, now let's get into law busy. You want them to validate the debt. 15 U.S. Code 1692G. We want them to validate that it's not zombie debt, because they will try you outside of the statute of limitations. I've had regions reach out to me from it was a negative checking account from 08, 09, way outside of the statute of limitations. They reached out to me and they told me, hey, we see that you owe regions 300 and some odd change. We can sell it for $67 or $167, and you won't owe this debt anymore. And on top of you not owing the debt anymore, we'll put it on your credit report as being a paid off collection. Think about how many people would have got spooked by that letter and paid it, even though it wasn't on their credit report. So they literally told you right there, if you pay this, because it's outside of the statute of limitation, they can't do anything with you about it. They telling you if you pay, it's going to go on your credit report as a paid off collections. That will hurt your credit more than it helps you. So you just knowing that and understanding that sometimes they're going to try you outside of the statute of limitations. Debt verification, after you receive that validation letter from that third party collector, this is what we want them to do. We want them to have them verify the amount of the debt, the age of the debt, and the authority to collect the debt in that state or whatever state you're in. They got to provide you with all this information before you start communicating with them. Don't get on the phone with them and start verifying information. Yes, this is Dub Washington. Yes, I stay in Georgia. Yes, you are verifying all of the information. Does your social security number end in 1234? Yes. Why are you asking? No, that's way too much information. First off, you are contacting me. So I want to see on the instance that you're contacting me to collect the debt. Let me see your authority to collect the debt in the state of Georgia, in the state of Florida, in whatever state that you're in. Right? Now, quick paper trail recap. They sent you a letter in the mail, intent to collect the debt. Once we receive that letter, we're going to opt out of the SCRAs. We're going to make sure our personal information is right. All of the things that I went over. Now we want them to verify the debt. Verify and validate. Right? Method of verification. Listen to me clearly. We went and opted out of the secondary consumer reporter agencies where they are housing the verification at. They verify it from the secondary consumer reporter agency. But if we go and opt out of the Innovis, SageStream, CoreLogic, ARS, so on and so forth, if we go and opt out of that, how are they going to verify it? So now we tell them to verify it. They say they verified it. We know there's no way that they could. Now we want the method of verification. We want you to tell us in writing, where did you verify this information from? Because if the bureaus take that they got it from LexisNexis, SageStream, ARS, CoreLogic, so on and so forth, you know you opted out and you got the email, you got the letter to say that you opted out. Now somebody, it ain't your problem no more. Now somebody in trouble because now you are affecting me to be able to provide for my family. I can't afford a car because I have high, my interest rate is going to be a lot higher. I can't get insurance because my credit score is low. Nobody want to give me a car. Now you're affecting the well-being of my family because you are reporting inaccurate information on my credit report. So 15 U.S. Code 1681 I-7 basically says this account is in violation as it was reported without valid evidence. Use this dispute reason on round 2 when you send out the method of verification letter. So first we had them to validate it. A lot of people get mad whenever you go through that first round, they come back and they validate it. You're like, man, I can't, don't nothing work, bro. Credit repair is a scam. And no, you want them to validate it and verify it as much as possible because you're building out a paper trail, especially if you know that you did what you were supposed to do. You followed the law. They did it. You opted out. Where are you getting this information from? Now, let's say they come back and then let me tell you this. That's not a cookie cutter approach to get everything removed off of your credit. Sometimes they will go back and they're going to send you a stall letter. They're going to say this is, I can't remember the correct verbiage they use, but it's like, man, I can't remember. Like when if multiple people sending the same letter multiple times, they call it something. But now if they go and validate it, guess what? Now we're going to go for accuracy of accounts. You can use US code 1681 EB, 1681 I-5, either one of them, because it said both of these laws say the same thing. The account is in violation as it's not reporting 100% accurate. I guarantee you, if you go and look at all of your accounts, your negative accounts, because we don't want to mess with the positive ones. If you go and look at the negative accounts on your report, you're going to see an inaccuracy, whether it is the date of last payment, whether it is the date that it was open, right? Even if it's 1 day off, guess what? That's grounds for removal because that's not 100% accurate. That's 99% accurate, but it's not 100. So we got to understand the laws are in our favor as a consumer. Start using them. Please start using them. Now, this is just the first steps in just getting you out the gate. It's so many different laws. By the way, if you're in my school community, that will be coming next month with a whole credit repair mastery. Me and Rico, we putting something super special together for y'all, so you can go and repair your own credit with the actual laws that him and his team is using, the best results, so on and so forth. But that's just the first step in a general dispute flow, right? For some of the best results. And there's many other strategies that you can leverage. It may take 30, 60 days, it may take an entire year, but we want to build relationships with the banks while we are repairing. Remember, they do not pull our credit report until we apply for a financial product. I hope I'm making sense to everybody. How are we feeling so far? We right at an hour in. Y'all let me know how we feel. Is it some game or not? Let's get it, Mike. Let's get it. Let's get it. Janae said, I'm gonna need that. Y'all get into the school community. Feeling great, feeling great. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. Now, what does this look like? If it takes you 6 months for credit repair, you can structure a minimum of at least 3 banking relationships. And depending on the bank of choice, this could result in multiple products. So let's just say if you're in credit repair, getting your credit fixed, enhanced, whatever verbiage you want to use, and you go to American Express, you go to PNC, and you go to Truist. This is 3 different banks, but once you have your credit repaired and you start applying for different products with them, particularly credit cards, you can get multiple credit cards and they only pull your credit one time. So this is whenever I say, depending on the bank of choice, it could be multiple products. These are double dip banks. These are multi-dip banks. So start building or structuring your next funding round while you in credit repair. If credit repair takes you a year, guess what? You know, the moment that that last negative item comes off your credit report, then you are trained to go. You have a 1-year deposit relationship with them, and they don't even know that you came out of credit repair. They're going to be trying to throw the money at you. So we got to understand how we can leverage the season that we in. I hope that didn't go over nobody's head. Please, if you can, do not build your profile with credit builders. There you go, Margaret. I appreciate that. Frivolous or irrelevant dispute. That's what they're gonna, whenever you use the same exact letter that everybody else is using, Margaret just dropped it in the chat for us. Frivolous and irrelevant dispute. I like that. Appreciate you, Queen. Please do not build your profile with credit builder accounts. You will pay for it later with both time and credit limits. I see a lot of people come in and they have credit builders on their profile, and then they like, Dub, I got an 800, but I can't get funded. I say, okay, the banks and credit unions and underwriters and relationship managers, they don't necessarily care about your credit score. They typically say, hey, you need a 680 to get approved for a business line of credit. With often most institutions, you need a 620 to get approved for a mortgage. Some of them can go down as low as like a 5 something. But that is based on the knowledge or accumulation of things going into your profile. So typically, if you have a 680, you are semi-responsible with the credit. You're not the best, but once again, I have people come to me with an 800 and they think they're ready to go. No, it's about the profile. I much rather you have a 680 with quality comparables versus an 800 with credit builder accounts. That's just my take on it. The type of accounts that you have on your profile will dictate the way the lenders lend money to you. How much you get, how they treat you is all dictated upon what accounts you have on your profile. I'm debating on saying this, but I kind of can't beat around the bush with it. I'm gonna leave it alone. We'll get to it. I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want, we too early in the presentation before I start saying that, man, because I don't want nobody to feel no type of way. But primary accounts are those in which you are the owner of and responsible for paying. If you start from scratch, we want quality, not quantity. We want quality, not quantity. Y'all say, come on with it, come on with it, come on with it. All right, I'm gonna say it. One thing that irked me is this. Because whenever my wife say something all the time, and it kind of stuck with me until I just be saying it. It's like whenever you know better, you do better. The thing that get me is whenever someone get y'all, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't charge for their time, But I just want y'all to start thinking deeper than surface level. Some people are charging y'all 10%, 12% to get you access to not even a business credit card with 0% interest for at least a 9 to 12 months to where you can at least get some of the money back. They're charging you 10% on a SoFi loan. They're charging you 10% on a loan conversion. And whenever y'all think that you're going out and you're running certain plays, I'm not even going to spread it on my platform. If you know, you know. But when people are charging y'all for SoFi and other, financial products, and it's a personal product, not only is it a personal product, it's a loan conversion. So it may be an auto loan and then they convert it to a personal loan with a higher interest rate. If you get $100,000 auto loan, they're charging you $10,000 to get you access to this. But then what ends up happening is you do a loan conversion from the auto loan to a personal loan. So the interest rate goes up. So if it goes up to 17%, which is average for the APR on the loan, you paid them $27,000 to get access to 100,000. So you don't have 100,000, you have 73,000, and you got to make 73,000 make you 100,000 to break even. I just want y'all to look at things different. But anyway, I ain't going to elaborate no more on that, but y'all asked for it. Primary accounts are the most effective way to structure your personal credit report, right? y'all about to get me going, man. Nah, yeah. If you know, you know, right? I just see a lot of stuff going on that I'm like, man, I wish our people would just understand more and just take the time to learn for yourself. Primary accounts are the most effective way to structure your reports. AUs are great for boosting your age, but they should not be substituted for primaries as banks sometimes overlook them. Authorized users are great for boosting your age. What does this tell you? The only time, my opinion, by the way, nothing that I say is financial advice. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So, authorized users, two things. Why add authorized users to boost your age if you apply for a credit product, a credit card, so on and so forth, and then the deny your reason or the adverse action letter does not say your age is an issue? I ran up about 600,000 with 1 year and 3 months of age history. That's just the FYI. About 600 plus thousand with 1 year, 3 months age history, which then let me know that the age really don't matter that much. Unless you are getting denied for it, I wouldn't even say that you need to add AUs. That's number one. Number two is this. If you get added as an authorized user on a credit card, that particular account has a payment index or payment trends. If you get added as an authorized user on my credit card, but you never put any spend on the credit card, the bank can pick that up. They know that you were added on that credit card to either boost your age or just the kindness out of somebody's heart. You don't get credit for that. The proper way to do it, my opinion, not financial advice. I don't know anything, by the way. I'm just a random guy on the internet tonight. Get an authorized user account to where they add you on the card, particularly a family member, and then you can spend on the card because you actually have the physical card, and then you build out internals with the institution. So a lot of y'all are paying $600 for a trade line. You're paying $1,500 for a trade line, backdated, 30-year age history, this. But whenever the underwriter go outside of them seeing that it's an authorized user account and them completely overlooking it, if they were to go into the payment index on it or open a drop down under each account, guess what they're going to see? Nothing on the card. So what are you paying for with the AUs? Just a different way for you to look at it, family. Just a different way for you to look at it. Now, Profile structuring. I tell everybody we want to get anywhere from 75 to $100,000 in available credit on the personal side. Now, don't do what I did. That's why I'm here tonight, to kind of show y'all these insights and perspective and strategies. Don't do what I did, because my mentees know I've probably had about $70,000 of credit cards closed down on me this year alone. $70,000. I lost a just recently. I lost a 16.5. It was an Ally credit card, one of the oldest credit cards on my personal profile, 8+ years. And they shut it down due to lack of activity. So whenever you go out and you want to do 100,000, 200,000, you want to see what it like to get 300,000 on the personal side, don't over leverage yourself, because it's going to come a point in time to where you only have business credit cards and you never spend money on those personal credit cards. You just don't. It's too much of a risk, right? It's way too much of a risk. So you're going to have all of this availability of credit. You're not going to use it. You're going to have about 40 something credit cards, and they're going to start shutting them down because you haven't used them in a year. You haven't used them in 2 years, and they're going to send you a letter in the mail. And then you're going to say, oh yeah, I need to go and use this card before they shut it down. And you're not going to use it because you got business credit cards that don't reflect utilization to the personal. And that's just how you operate. So before you go and try to obtain 300, 400,000, I'm just telling y'all the mistakes that I made along the way. Don't over leverage yourself. Now, team, we supposed to take this out. I guess we here now with it. um, the score by state is a very, very important factor. But y'all making me work tonight. I told the team to take this out. So now that we're here, this average score by state is a major indicator that I teach my mentees to use, because we want to look at the low FICO states. If we look at the low FICO states, aka the Bible Belt, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, on up through here, right? We look at these low FICO states, and then we go in there with a higher FICO with properly structured comparables, so on and so forth, and then we come and take y'all money. That's essentially what we do. Businesses are cutthroat, right? So we know the average FICO score, average FICO bank card score 8 based on the state. So we go to these national credit unions, or if they're not national, we get a foreign entity filing, assuming that they have a risk exposure for it. And we walk in there, and then we build out a deposit relationship. And because they're used to coming across people that have a 680 or 700 credit score, whenever we walk in there with comparables, whenever we walk in there with bank statements, because we've already been building with you for 90 days, and then we have an 800 plus credit score, it's a lot easier for us to get access to the capital in the best or the top 3 banks and top 3 credit unions in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, because they're not used to people coming in there with an 800 plus. I hope y'all get where I'm going with this. Cody say this is some game right here. DeAndre say, is a AU with your spouse beneficial when it comes to overall your credit limit utilization? Absolutely, because you're going to be using that card. So they're going to see the payment trends on it, right? And then that's actually helping you be able to go in, DeAndre, and apply for the credit card with that institution. How I built out my relationship with American Express, my wife added me as the authorized user on her card. Guess what? I went in, I was spending, weirdly enough, about $1,000 a month. My first American Express credit card was $1,000. Boy, I got that credit card, y'all. Man, listen. Every chance I could get, man, I'm paying for lunch for people at work and everything. Like, bro, just send me the money. I got it. Ready to pull out that Amex card. Good times, good times, good times. All right, let's jump into a FICO score breakdown. So there's different versions of a FICO score that everyone must understand. You have a true FICO score, you have a FICO auto score, and you have a FICO bank card score, right? Very, very important, and they weighted upon different factors. Very important. I need y'all to understand that. So we got the FICO score, the FICO auto score, FICO bank card score. Now, I got to update this. We're a little bit higher than that right now. They disrespected me, man. But this is a general FICO score 8. See, on Equifax, you got an 813, 817, 814. By the way, I was on live the other night, and I say anybody who collectively has a higher credit score than me, you get $100. Get $100. If you have collectively, so between all three bureaus, we're gonna do 800, 800, 800 divided by three, whatever that number is. If your average is higher than mine, you got a free $100. But you got to be on the call. Don't be sending me somebody else report. It's a free $100 for you, right? But your FICO score is weighted upon payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, your credit mix, and new credit. Generally, what makes up a credit profile. We got somebody? Hold on. That is Trinil said what you check with that. That's my FICO. My FICO. So once again, here we go. Because we're talking about credit stacking. That is you going for business lines of credit. That is you going for business credit cards. My FICO bank card score 8 is very high. Why? Because I leverage credit cards. I have a great history with borrowing large amounts on the credit card, letting it report and paying it back. So remember my FICO, my regular FICO 8, just 813, 817, 814, but my FICO bank card score 8 is 836, 841, 837. Because your bank card score is different than your actual FICO score because it's a collective of things that's going to make up that true FICO. But there's also a collective of things that's going to make up your FICO bank card score, which is, next slide, the payment history on your credit cards, your credit utilization, the type of credit cards that you have, recent high balances, and the number of credit cards that you got, right? Now, remember, my FICO bank card score 8 was 836, 841, 837. But my FICO bank card score 8, 840, 831, 816. There's different versions of FICO scores that the bank is going to use. Not everybody is going to use FICO bank card score 8, but that is that's the most widely used bank card score for lending. But they have FICO bank card score 9. They have FICO bank card score 3, FICO bank card score 5, 4, 2. It's a multitude of ones under that one FICO bank card score. Hope everybody understand that. So whenever somebody asks you your credit score, it shouldn't be, oh, I got a 840. That's not really telling me anything, because depending on the product that you are applying for, whether it's a credit card or an auto loan or a mortgage, that's a different score. So when someone asks you your credit score, it depends on, our response is, it depends on what product that we're going for. People gonna look at you crazy, like, bro, like, wait, what? That's some free game for y'all tonight, family. Now, remember, we had a FICO bank card score. We had FICO, a regular true FICO score. We had a FICO bank card score. Now, this is my FICO auto score 8, 827, 840, 828. But there's also different versions of it as well, just like the FICO bank card score. There is actually 16 different versions of a FICO score that most people don't even take into consideration. They don't even know, whenever people are saying that, what they mean. That's why I tell people, whenever you are going in and you are building out your FICO, make sure you understand that in particular, right? Make sure we understand that in particular. Now, what entails your FICO auto score? What's the factors that make up your FICO auto score, right? It's weighted upon the payment history on installment loans and the paid as agreed accounts. Now, let me give y'all some game real quick. Let me give y'all some real game real quick. Whenever we are going to different institutions, as we all know, they are going to look at and pay attention to the closed accounts, right? Dub, why are closed accounts important? Somebody let me know in the chat. Why are closed accounts important? Y'all let me know. Let's see. Let's see who's been in the. How do you find out these different FICO scores? My FICO. If you go to my FICO, you will get these different scores. I don't have an affiliate link, but my FICO will give you all of the different scores. Past history, age, thanks. Age. So the reason why Apolline, my brother, So he a mentee. So I'm gonna give him the pass. Wait, see, he don't count because he been in there. They're looking for paid off. Okay, it can impact your available credit and utilization. All of these are great answers, right? All of these are amazing answers. But remember, y'all, whenever y'all come here, I'm going to teach you to think different about the banking sector. The reason why closed accounts are important is because it's going to tell the entire history about you. Just like your exes tell the your ex is gonna tell who you are as a person. Y'all know that person who like, I can't never find nobody good, and you like, look who you talking to. I know this is making sense, but anyway, closed accounts are important simply because they are going to tell the history of your borrowing behavior. Believe it or not, the closed accounts on your profile is going to tell how long did you make that $1,500 a month auto loan payment. So whenever you're going for business credit cards, we're going for any type of financial product, what we must understand is the closed account drop down is going to tell, okay, we see my brother Apolline just paid $3,000 a month for a mortgage for the past 30 years. Quality comparable. We see that my brother Joshua Rico just paid, close to $4,000 a month for his McLaren note for like 3 years. Quality comparable. Even whenever they paid it off, guess what? Those closed accounts has a payment index. So the paid as agreed accounts, the only way that you can get a paid as agreed account is if it closes. So once it closed, and then the other underwriters and bankers are able to look at that drop down, that's payment history that they looking at. That's the payment history that they paying attention to determine, okay, can you hold on to, or can you manage $150,000 business line of credit? Because if you have $150,000 business line of credit, let's just say, give or take, the payments are going to be about $1,500 a month, right? If you have never had an auto loan or mortgage or any collective amount of $1,500 a month coming out of your checking account going towards payments, you may not be qualified to get the 150,000. But the amounts that you have paid, guess what? Is going to say a lot about you. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on. Somebody said, can you give some talk about the Navy Federal Certificate Pledge Loan and give some tips? I got you, family. Just hold your horses. Just hold your horses. I got y'all. Now, remember, each bank may pull a different FICO version depending on the product that you are applying for. What I always tell people is this: stop telling people I got a 800 TransUnion. The credit score only matters whenever the product that you are going for is going to pull that particular version of that credit score. So we don't care that you have an 800 TransUnion. We need to know, is it a FICO bank card? Is it a FICO auto loan? Is it a true FICO score? Is it a mortgage score? What is the full breakdown of the credit score that we're talking about? And depending on that product is going to dictate where they pull it from. Banking is evergreen. So sometimes you may see certain institutions are going to pull Experian FICO 8. They can switch tomorrow with the underwriting process and go directly to TransUnion FICO 3. So it's a multitude of things that we must be in alignment with in 2026 to stay ahead of everybody else, right? My goal is to put y'all in position. Now, comparable credit. Why is this so important? It's determined by the quality and the amounts of your existing lines of credit. I keep telling everybody that the banks are judging you by the type of accounts on your profile. If you walk in with Covo, with Upgrade, with Upstart, you walk in with these particular accounts on your profile, you're going to be laughed at, not in your face, right? Whenever they go into the back office, they talking with their relationship managers, and they looking at your profile. Okay, he wants 100. Listen, I want to kind of play this scenario out for y'all. We rocking out tonight. This is the last call of 2025. I want to make sure y'all get this game. You walk into an institution and you are requesting $150,000 on a business line of credit, or you're requesting the max exposure on the credit card. It could be 100,000, but you have Covo, you have Best Egg, You have a loan conversion on there. If you know, you know. You have all of these different products on your consumer report, and you think that bank really gonna give you access to 150,000. If my job as the underwriter is to mitigate risk, and you come in with credit builders on your profile, and you ask me for 150,000, and then hear me out here, most common people that's going to default on the credit cards has a similar pattern. I'm just gonna let y'all sit and think on that for a while. Are you putting yourself in position to look like a reliable borrower? Or are you putting yourself in position to look like what everybody else is doing, just throwing credit builders on their account, and you're being judged by that? I'm the underwriter. I know the common practices of people that came out of credit repair, and they're going to run off on me. I know what you look like. I know where you hang out at. I know what type of clothes you wear. If I need to get more technical, I know the zip code that you stay in. I know the NAICS code that you use, and I know the type of accounts that you add on your profile. I ain't gonna step on no more toes. Let's move on. Let's move on. Quality is determined by who issued the credit. Is it bank issue or is it consumer issue? Cody said, "You preaching, bro." Listen. I'm just telling y'all what nobody else will tell y'all. These are common practices in the banking sector that nobody teaches. Everybody is teaching you, okay, we're going to add Covo, we're going to add Upgrade, Upstart, we're going to add some credit builders, you're going to get an 800, we're going to go and get you 200,000, until it gets to the underwriter. And they say, bro, come on. You think I'm about to lend you 150,000, you think I'm about to lend you 100,000, and you got Covo on here? I don't care if it's 50,000 on this Covo credit card. I don't care if it's 150,000 on this Upgrade credit card. You're paying horrible, you have a horrible interest rate on this. And the fact that you took it, somebody said, is this live? Is this live or pre-recorded? That should answer your question right there. Is this live or pre-recorded? Let's eat, family. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat. We here. We here. We here. This is comparable credit, right? This is comparable credit right here. Right here. I'd much rather you have this lineup right here over this lineup. I'd much rather you have this over this. I don't care if this is 100,000. I'd much rather you have 5,000 over here versus 100,000 over here. FYI, just letting you in on it. Now, for the person that asks about the Navy Federal play, this is why we don't build with credit builders, right? The reason why we don't build with credit builders is because we can do this. Certificate pledge loans are better than credit builders. You can go as low as $500 and you can go to $500,000, right? As little as $500 and you can go up to $500,000. Ensure that capital is returned to you, though, as the loan is paid down. That's the major hack on all of these certificate pledge plays. Because what you don't want to do is go and open up, let's just say, a $20,000 pledge loan, and then they hold the money up until the loan is paid down in full. So whenever I say you must ensure that the capital is returned as the loan is paid down, is that whenever you go in and you open it up with 10,000, if you pay $9,500 towards it, the $9,500 is going to be returned to the savings account because we can leverage it multiple times. It's a strategy that we do. We want to leverage it multiple times. So just like I say, we leverage the same capital multiple times, and we want to use different amounts. So I started with the $10,000 breakdown. We go and we get access to a $10,000 credit card, right? Whether it's on the personal side or business side, the play can be ran in less than 30 days. The play can actually be run in 5 business days with Navy Federal. Each institution is going to vary, but by the time you fund a savings account, do a pledge against it, that's probably 1 or 2 days. You get approved for it, that's probably 2 to 3 business days. Then they take the money from the account, That's probably about going on 4 days, and then you pay down 99% of it. They return it probably, 5 to 6 business days you in there, nowhere near 30 days. So if you got a $10,000 personal credit card, you can leverage the play, but it's even better with a business credit card. Take the $10,000 off of the credit card, then you go and put it into a savings account. Now you say, hey, I want to do a certificate pledge loan against my capital. Now they're going to deduct the 10,000. They're going to add a $10,000 primary on your consumer report. Now, guess what we're going to do? We're going to pay $9,500 of it. Once we pay the $9,500 of it, guess what? They're going to reflect it and send it back to the savings account. Now we had it to leverage again, right? We got it to leverage again. So $9,500 is returned. Once the $9,500 is returned, we leverage it again with $7,500. So we're going to open it up for $7,500. And then guess what? We pay off $7,200 of it. Now we had the $7,200 returned to us. We still have access to the entire $9,500 that was there. But we leverage it multiple times with different amounts so it don't look like it's duplicate accounts. Because if you're going to the same exact institution and then you have a $10,000 pledge loan, another $10,000 pledge loan, another $10,000 pledge loan, this could be an error on that report. So just to ensure that the bankers or other underwriters don't get it mixed up, what we end up doing is leverage different amounts, but we took 10,000 and then we made it look like 22,500 in comparables. What is the benefit to have pledge loans? For people, whenever they're coming out and they want to build up their profile, Cody, instead of adding these credit builders, one thing a pledge loan is going to say is that you have liquidity. So we took $10,000 from a credit card. Now on paper, it looks like we have $10,000 liquid with that first pledge loan. But if we take that 10,000 and we run different pledge loans, now it looks like on paper, even if we don't have nothing but $100 in our checking account, what it looks like on our credit report is that we literally are playing with 22,500 in liquidity. So if they think that you have the 22,500 in liquidity, the conception or the thought process is they're going to grant us a $22,500 limit, if I'm making sense here. Gotcha. I'm glad I got you, Cody. Let's get it. Let's get it. Now, credit stacking. We talked about this shortly. Knowing which card to apply for at what time will greatly benefit you through your credit stacking journey. We can apply solely for the limits. We can apply solely for sign up and spend bonuses. We can apply for a 0% APR structure phase. You can apply for sign up bonus to take your friends and family on vacation. So many different things that you can apply for a credit card with. Don't just get caught up in the process of just applying for a credit card, just applying for limits, just applying for things, because there's so many ways that we leverage it. Sometimes, let me tell you, I go for credit cards whenever I have a all-time high sign-up bonus. If you're going to give me 250,000 ultimate reward points on this Chase Sapphire Reserve, right? This for my people that do the travel hacking, right? I know I teach a little bit of that too. You're going to give me 250,000 ultimate reward points. At lowest cash value, this is $2,500. But whenever we get into the travel hacking space, you like, yo, if that's $2,500 in cash value, I want to go anywhere from 2 to 3x the value of the cash, and I'm going to convert that into points. So imagine having a $2,500 sign-up bonus, but because we know how to transfer to different travel portals and different things like that, we're now able to take a $2,500 sign-up bonus that we got for manufacturer spending or whatever the case is, and we turn that $2,500 into a $7,500 family vacation. So it's different ways to leverage the whole credit journey, right? But application rules are very important. We must understand there's different tolerances or appetites for each institution. New account sensitive banks. I spoke about this whenever we first came on. I say, I could give y'all what banks to go to. I could give you the parameters to use. I could give you all of these different things, but if you don't know in what order to apply for your funding sequence, you're going to miss out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can give you a secret lenders list and tell you where every bank pulls from. I can give you the FICO score that they're going to actually pull. They're going to pull TransUnion FICO bank card score 8. Chase is going to pull Equifax or Experian FICO bank card score 8. Bank of America is typically going to pull your TransUnion FICO bank card score 3, right? American Express FICO bank card score 8. I could give you all that information, but if you don't go to them in the correct order, you're gonna fumble the bag. That's why mentorship and coaching is very important, because a lot of people are telling you the information, but they're not giving it to you in the structured manner that you need to have it. Just the FYI. So some new account sensitive banks are Bank of America, it's Chase, it's Barclays. Don't go to American Express, PNC, Truist. Don't go to them first. It does not make sense. They don't care about new account sensitive. They don't care about too many inquiries, but Bank of America, Chase, and Barclays do. So we need to make sure they are first in our funding rounds to maximize the availability of capital. Hope I'm making sense, family. Now let's get into some funding secrets. Because once again, knowing when to apply, knowing what banks to go to for what products, this is what's stopping us from getting ahead in 2025 and going into 26. I'm here tonight to give, I'm here to lay it all out to you. With you being on this masterclass tonight, you have no excuse as to why we shouldn't be able to get at least, I'm gonna say $250,000 over the next 6 months. If you leverage the strategies correctly, if you in finance or if your credit is in position, you should at least be able to increase your purchasing power anywhere from 250 to 350,000. That's every single year. In 3 years, you could build out, and this is on a low scale. In 3 years, you can build out $1 million in purchasing power. Over the next 6 months, you could strategize to set up your next 3 years. I hope y'all caught that. All it takes is 6 months of strategizing. All right. Funding secret number 1. App rules, we previously discussed it, will tell you how many cards that you can get in a time frame. So we went over new account sensitive, right? But application rules are going to tell you how many credit cards that you can get within a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day time frame. Bank of America has a 2-3-4 rule. Very important. 2 credit cards every 60 days, 3 credit cards every 12 months, 4 credit cards every 24 months. Chase has a 230 rule. Amex has a 5-card rule, meaning that you can get 5 cards in one day. Two credit cards, 3 charge cards. Chase, 2 credit cards in a 30-day time frame is most that you can get. And like I say, Bank of America's 2-3-4 rule is very important. But this is what I got for y'all tonight. Understanding the 2-3-4 rule is important because you can't get any more than 2 credit cards every 60 days. But what if I told you, I know y'all better get that screen recorded on now, because I'm about to drop a bomb on y'all right here tonight. That's going to change the way that you look at the banking sector. 2 credit cards every 60 days. So what we do is this. We go in, we apply for credit card number 1. They may give us about 10,000, 10 to 15,000. That's the average limit for Bank of America, 10 to 15,000. We then go and apply for another credit card simultaneously. So within a 30-day time frame, what ends up happening is you got access to both of these credit cards because you can't get more than 2 every 60 days. But you can get 2 on the same exact day. What we do is take the limit from one of the cards, and we're going to get into some reallocation here shortly. Take the limit from one of the cards and merge them over to that first card. And before we even do anything with it, we're going to deactivate the card. Guess what? I didn't get 2 credit cards in the 60-day time frame. I got 1 because I closed the other one down. That's just a gem for y'all right there. That's just a gem for y'all. I hope y'all caught that because I am not repeating that. Double dip banks will allow you to obtain multiple products with one hard pull. So remember, when I tell you we want to strategize our sequence to go to double dip, multi-dip banks, Truist Bank does this, American Express does this. I just gave you the play with BOA. 2-3-4, 2 credit cards every 60 days, but you can get 2 credit cards on the same exact day, reallocate over to the first one, shut the second one down, and then you can go whenever that 0% APR phase is over. Citizens Bank is another one. They don't necessarily do double dip, but they allow you to do multi-entity, meaning that if you have 3 different businesses, you can go and get funded under each business and they only pull your credit one time. That's funding secret number 2. Now let's jump into the third one right here. Banks that have multiple products should be prioritized simply for that reallocation play that I just gave y'all. We leverage the credit limit reallocations to maximize a 0% APR. Let's just say if you didn't want to combine with Bank of America or Truist or however you want to do it, right? We go for card one, generally speaking. I go for card one and I get approved for $10,000, 0% interest for 9 months. Hopefully, y'all follow the strategy of taking the money off the card, going to build a relationship for at least 90 days, and then ask them for more money, and then put the money back into this card, ask them for a credit limit increase, and do it like that. But let's keep it entry level. If you caught that, you caught it. Card one, we apply for, we get approved for 10,000. 0% interest for 9 months, for example, Bank of America. What we now do at the end of 9 months is, of course, we're going to ask for a credit limit increase at the 6-month mark because we're responsible with the credit card. We liquidated, we paid it back, so on and so forth. They go from, let's just say 10,000, and then they go up to 15,000 in 6 months. Now you got an additional 3 months left with this credit card. 0% APR ends. We're going to pay the credit card down because we're not going to give them no money. Now we're going to go in and apply for card two. Hopefully, if we have been responsible, they're going to mirror, as I call it, mirror the current limit that you already have. If they mirror the current limit that you already have, then they're going to give you another $15,000 credit card. Quick recap. We started with 10,000. We took the first 90 days to build a deposit relationship with another institution. We got approved for another credit card with said institution. We then pulled the money out that we originally started with Bank of America, paid them their money back, asked for a credit limit increase. They increased it from 10,000 to 15,000, right? Now, at the end of that 9 months, 0% APR phase, we say, okay, I'm not going to use the card no more, but I know y'all have more credit cards. You apply for another credit card, and because we have been responsible, they're going to grant us either 10 and 15,000 again. Now, this is 0% interest also for 9 months. What we're going to do is take the original card that we got the first 15,000 on, and then we can move 14,000 over to the brand new credit card. So if they gave you 15,000 to mirror your limit, you add another 14,000, you at 29,000 at 0% interest for 9 months. All we're doing is transferring the limit from the first card to the second card, and then we just extended a 0% APR. So instead of going for both cards at one time and then getting, let's just say 20,000, and you only have it 0% interest for 9 months, wait on the second one, because if you show responsible behavior, they're going to match you what you get. So your goal should be to get this first card as high as possible so they can match it. And regardless, if they don't, you're just going to reallocate over to the new card anyway. So in our reality, I've had 18 months at 0% interest while everybody else took 9 months. This is how we extend 0% APR phases, right? So pre-qualification, soft pull, new account sensitive, multi-dip, stated and no documentation, light doc, all the way to full doc. This is from easiest to hardest your funding sequence. If you don't have no documentation, family, let me tell you something. Don't go for the products that's going to request documentation. Or better yet, don't go for the amounts that's going to request documentation. How do you do, like, whoa, you way over my head now. If you go to, let's say, Wells Fargo, this is the updated data point, because remember, we are operating in December 2025 into 2026. So the information that I'm bringing to you is not information that has been applicable in 2020, 2021. This is why we on here tonight, to end out the year. This is the last one for the year. I want to make sure everybody's up to speed. If you don't have the correct documentation, either for the product or for the amount, we don't go for it. Wells Fargo, no documentation, $100,000 business line of credit. The business line of credit goes up to 150. Anything over 100,000 will require documentation. So if you don't have at least 6 months of bank statements or 1 year of tax returns, guess what? We're not going for the 101,000. We're going to keep it on the safe side. We're going to request 95,000. So apply for the products that you are qualified for, if that makes sense. We're not going for institutions to, I'm gonna shoot for $150,000 business line of credit. And then you wonder why you got a denial because you don't have the requirements. 680 and 1 year in business. But if you have that 680 and at least 1 year in business, guess what? They also, if you want to go over 100,000, they're gonna want to see 1 year tax returns. So if you don't have 1 year tax returns, don't go for 150,000. Let's go for 95,000. It's not that hard. Take the 95,000 versus getting nothing at all. Let's move on. All right, let's jump into some business credit, right? Business credit is very, very key. So let's talk about structuring your seven-figure business, what it needs to look like on paper. By the way, let me check the temperature in the room. How are we feeling tonight? How are y'all feeling tonight? Were y'all expecting this? Y'all let me know. Just let me get some feedback real quick while I get me a nice water break. Let's get it, Kelly. Let's get it, Jason. Let's get it. Sherelle, I appreciate you. Drew, I appreciate you. Pauline, my brother, for sure. David, Sammy, let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Now, let's get into some business credit, right? Remember, y'all, from anything that y'all hear from me, this is December of 2025 and beyond. This is not what we've been accustomed to doing in 2020, 2021. These are strategies that is working now, right? So structuring your seven-figure business. Business credibility checklist. Business name is very important. Business address is very important. Business email and your entity structure, whether you're doing a C Corp or a LLC. Those are my recommendation. Get with your tax person whenever you doing these entities, if you want to do it correct. I'm just a random guy on the internet who don't know anything about credit. Nothing that I say is financial advice, but for banking purposes, we get LLCs and C Corps. FYI, S Corps insinuates that you already have investors for your particular entity. So one of the things whenever we are walking into an institution, they're like, "Duh, I want to get some funding. Okay, what's your corporate structure like, or what's your entity structure?" Well, I got an S corp. Well, why are you walking into the bank? Because an S corp insinuates that you have investors already. So we leverage LLCs and C corps. That's just a FYI for everybody right there. The perception that lenders have of your business is critical to building business credit. You want to ensure that your business exceeds all credibility standards. Your business bank ratings indicate the size of the loan that your business can service the debt on. This is why we build with deposit relationships. The more money or the more cash flow that you have coming through your checking account, it's literally a representation of the size of loan that your business can service the debt on. One of the fastest way to get higher limits outside of having a 800 plus credit score and having quality comparables is your business bank account activity, because it's going to tell everything about the business. This is why we build with deposits, not just transferring money interchangeably. We're not putting $50,000 into this account and then moving that 50,000 to this checking account for 45,000, then moving it back to that. But you're not having an average daily balance. We want the average daily balance to increase, not decrease. This is how we play the game. Understand that the banks want to mitigate risk by ensuring, right? Somebody say, we want to know about the S corp. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for long term for startup. We got to listen, y'all killing it in the chat. We got y'all, man. We may take a little bit of Q&A depending on what time I finish tonight. But understand that banks want to mitigate risk by ensuring that your business can handle the day-to-day expenses and debt associated with that business. And what way do they showcase that? By looking at your checking account. Your internal bank rating is determined by the average daily balances over the past 3 months. And guess what? We don't want it to go down. We want it to go up. FYI, this is why we don't take $10,000 and move it to PNC, and then next week we take 10,000 out and move it over to Bank of America, and then take that 10,000 move it to Truist, and then no, that's not right. Because you're not going to get an average daily balance. You want the money to be deposited and sit. Deposited and sit. But the deposits are consistently coming in, and then the consistent deposits are being increased on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, so on and so forth, because it shows this. It shows a consistent growth of deposits. You have to, I hate the term like fake it until you make it, but that's essentially what we got to do with the banks, right? Y'all used to doing it for social media anyway, so why not do it with the banks and get some type of return? You feel me? Now, um, let's see. I know y'all said Cody say it is what it is, bro. I feel you, Cody. I feel you, bro. Internal bank ratings. This is where we want to be at, y'all. Right here, this low five. This is exactly where we want to be at. Anybody that tells you that you need to open up a checking account with 30,000. If you can do it, but you have to make sure that you're able to have increased consistent. I'd much rather you put $5,000 over the course of a month and you do it for what's that, 6 months versus throwing the $30,000 in there and letting it sit. You're not showing any type of growth. That money could have came from you hitting a lottery, could have came from a gift, it could have came from anywhere. That's not building out your internal bank rating. Even if you have, let's just say, that average daily balance sitting in there solely from you having that, like I say, 90-day relationship with them. You open up the checking account, you throw $30,000 in there, $40,000 in there, and then once you throw it in there, you let it sit. Well, after a certain time frame, the account becomes dormant. That's not how you build. We build with increased, consistent deposits. Now, for this right here, I just want y'all to, I know y'all probably writing a lot of notes, you're trying to keep up, you screenshot and you're doing all of these different things, but I want y'all to just sit back and just watch how I break this down because I want to show you how you can generate $10,000 annually by just opening up checking accounts. Anybody in here familiar outside of the mentees? I know we get busy with it, but checking account churning. Anybody that's their first time on this masterclass, y'all let me know if you are familiar with checking account. This is my first time visitors, right? First time visitors. While we should already be building deposit relationships regardless, what if you could get paid to open up checking accounts and you literally can generate $10,000, $20,000? Mark said this is his first time here. So I'm gonna make it worthwhile for y'all. If I have not already, right? If I have not already gave y'all enough game already, I want to kind of give you this one too. We should already be building deposit relationships, right? DeAndre said he never heard of it. Drew say not completely. Imagine if you go in, you could, and a lot of people do this. We could go and get a business credit card, $10,000, $20,000, and then we liquidate the business credit card to go and build deposit relationships with other institutions, which we should be doing that anyway. But in the midst of you building with that deposit institution, they're going to give you a checking account bonus from you just making a deposit into that institution. And now can be for personal or business, right? It works for both. Or saving account. For example, Beverly Bank and Trust in Illinois. A $600 direct deposit will give you a $500 checking bonus. LGE Community Credit Union. Spend $500 on from your bank account or a debit card. They're going to give you $350 back, right? Barrington Bank and Trust, another one in Chicago. $500 direct deposit. They'll give you $500 back. And this website will literally break down hundreds and hundreds of credit unions and banks that's offering you this. So what you should do is like, yo, leverage this resource. Once you know that they're already giving you money to open up money and deposit money into this checking account, now you building with them anyway. So imagine getting paid $500 to open up a checking account with them, and then they give you a $15,000 credit card. Not to mention, once you get the credit card, you're going to liquidate the money off this credit card to go and build another banking relationship anyway. So they're paying you, hear me out here, y'all. They are paying you to borrow money from them. Think about that for a second. While everybody else out here are struggling to get access to capital and they don't understand the game that we understand, we have banks that is paying us to borrow money from them. Not to mention we're borrowing the money from them in the form of credit. And then we are building relationships with other banks who's giving us more money. And then it's just a constant cycle. And then next thing you know, you're gonna look up, you're gonna have 100,000 in credit. You're gonna have a quarter million. We're gonna have a half a M. You see what I'm saying? Then we're gonna get to a million. I need more credit millionaires in my community. Right. And that's why I started the other one. Avin, go ahead and drop that link for the $99 school for everybody to join. Because like I said, man, what I got being built out in this community, listen, I don't like to compare, but seeking through the marketplace, I don't think once this course is fully built out, the level of information that you're going to be getting for $99, first off, this masterclass right here is should tell you what you can kind of expect. But outside of that, right? We go and we open up checking accounts and we get paid for it, and then they give us more money and we leverage it and we build other banking relationships. All of that is nice. Now we get the credit cards. And each time you have a credit card and you refer someone, you're going to either get points or cash back up to a certain amount. Now, American Express is my favorite credit card issuer by far. And they recently switched from 55,000 membership reward points in 2022. And ever since coming in early 2023, we can get up to 100,000 membership reward points. All right. So for 100,000 membership reward points equates to $1,000 in cash back. So guess what? We can go in and leverage all of our Amex cards. Imagine me having 16 Amex cards, and then each one of them either giving me 100,000 membership reward points equates to $1,000 cash back. And I'm doing that and filling up my slots every single year. So on average, Amex is gonna pay me anywhere from $15,000 to $16,000 a year just to have the card. Not to mention the spend that I put on there, I'm getting points back. Not to mention the retention offers that I tell them, like, hey, I'm not really using the card. If y'all caught that, y'all caught that. The retention play is for real. So let me break that down for y'all. It's the end. It's the last one of the year. I want to kind of put y'all on game so you can literally know how to make money from your credit cards. Literally. Amex has I think this is a $700, $800 a year annual fee card. So what ends up happening is I tell them I'm not utilizing all of the perks on it. So I am contemplating on canceling the card unless my account qualifies for a retention offer. This is where you say, you don't tell them you want to close it because they will close. You say, I'm thinking about closing it. They're going to then come back and they're going to outline all of the perks with the card. You get a $75 Lululemon credit. And I'm like, Lululemon, really? You, you see what I'm saying? You get a $200 Aura ring credit, right? By the way, if you have not used all of the perks associated with this card this year, you only got a few weeks left. You got a ring credit with Aura credit. You got a Lululemon credit. You got a $200 airline credit that you got to use. It's a whole bunch of stuff on there. But anyway, if you tell them that you are considering or contemplating canceling the card, what ends up happening is they're gonna say, "Well, we enjoy your um membership since 2017, right? Would it be beneficial for you to, if you can spend, let's just say X amount, we'll give you whatever you're going to pay for the annual fee, we're going to give it back to you. So they tell you, hey, you got to spend, let's just say $8,000 over the next 6 months or over the next 3 months, and then we will give you the money back that you're going to pay for the annual fee. Well, I pay the annual fee, that goes towards the spend. Come on, y'all. The annual fee goes towards the spend on the card, not to mention that they're literally going to give me points for keeping the card open. And if you understand Amex, if you get the Charge Swap Platinum, this is a business. If you got the Charge Swap Platinum, you can then take your points and cash them out at a cash rate higher than if you were just originally cash out. I ain't gonna spend too much time on that. But let's get into some, I got some sauce for y'all here. My top 5 experienced lenders: American Express, PNC, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Discover, right? Hope this making sense. Chrissy said, you lost me. You lost me. Listen, I wish I could spend some more time on it. I got you. I got you. I'll drop that play in the community. Anybody that's in the community inside the $99 school community, um, go ahead and drop a note inside of there so I don't forget. I'll shoot a video on that and break it down in full for y'all. So my top Equifax lenders are Chase, Truist, right? Alvin just dropped that link in the chat. $99 a month. You can just come and join that play. You know what I'm saying? I got the checking account churning in there. Come on, spend $99 for 1 month, get access to how to make $10,000, how to get referrals and all of that. It's Alvin just dropped the link in the chat, Christy. I got you, trust me. My top Equifax lenders are Chase, Truist, Synovus, Citizens, and PNC for the business line of credit. I know that first one's going to catch a lot of people. The Chase only pulls Experian, not all the time. I have seen where they have started pulling from Equifax for the business credit cards. We must understand that part. Very, very important. Credit is the evergreen space, and then banks underwriters can literally switch up on a snap of a finger of what bureau that they're using. Right now, my top five TransUnion is Navy Federal, BHG, Comerica, US Bank. Goldman Sachs got some, they got some internals going on right now. So that's why I skipped over that. But Navy Federal, BHG, Comerica, and US Bank, these are my top TransUnion lenders. Now, with this little, what's this, 15, Keontae say, can I get more information on your personal mentorship? Also, do you take payments? It's only $99 a month for this one, right? Now, if you want to join the other one, Alvin, you can drop that link too. I think we are accepting payment plans for the lifetime mentorship. That is 1997, but we're gonna get to that. We got you. You know what I'm saying? But for the $99 one, it's only we don't do payment plans for that one. It's only 99 a month. Now, what does this look like? 1997 for that one. You can't lose. Alvin just dropped that link in the chat for anybody that wants to join. This not even the time to pitch, but since Keontae asked, let's bless you with the link. Alvin just dropped it right there for anybody that wants to join. But let's jump back here. Don't lose track of what we got here, because this is the most important part of the presentation. Of all the lenders that I just gave y'all, you can go and develop an unlimited funding strategy, whether you are funding yourself vertically or you're funding yourself horizontally, right? Vertically, meaning that you're only funding your Equifax sequence. 3 to 5 banks is going to pull from Equifax. 3 to 5 banks is going to pull from TransUnion. 3 to 5 banks is going to pull from Experian. That is a vertical funding sequence. Now, if you want to go horizontal and you want to keep your inquiries low, guess what? We go 2 banks Equifax, 2 banks TransUnion, 2 banks Experian. But this is the overall strategy right here. This is how I was able to amass over 1 million just from Amex alone, y'all. Just for Amex alone, spending power stays above 1 million. 16 plus credit cards. Probably have about 41, 42 credit cards now, even with $70,000 in lines being shut down on me due to not using them in 2024. But we go and we get a structure card. This is the play here. We take this card right here. It's not literally going to be this card, but we take a structure card. Once we have this structure card, this is going to be the fountain to open up to everything else. This is the shower head, right? So we're going to take this one and we're going to disperse it out. And we're going to leverage the capital from this one card, typically a 0% APR credit card. Let's just say this was 0% interest for a year, right? We're going to use 1 year this time. 0% interest for 1 year. That could be a PNC credit card. That could be an American Express credit card. Different institutions is offering you 0% interest for a year. Guess what we're gonna do? If you have 30,000, you can leverage a 3 bank sequence per round. If you only have 20,000, you only can leverage a 2 bank sequence per round, because $10,000 equates to 1 banking relationship. Just so everybody on the same page, if you get 30,000 with this structure card, that's a 3 bank sequence per round. If you only get 20,000, that's only 2 banks. But let's just say that we get access to the 30,000. The 30,000 gonna come and we're gonna deposit, increase consistent deposits over a 90-day period. The first month we coming in, this is the play here. Y'all seen, if you've been on here multiple times, you know this is where we get spicy at. Increased consistent deposit will look like if it's $10,000 that we want to get to, the $10,000. Let me go back to the chart real quick so I don't lose nobody. This is where we want to be at, low 5. Internal bank rating. This is the chart that I'm pulling it from. We want to have $10,000 at least in that account at the time of application. So whenever we apply for a credit card, is some people going to tell you 5,000, but it's better to have at least $10,000 in there, because you can that's at least one banking relationship. And that's why I came up with the 10,000 from, because it's going to give you that low 5. And if you have $10,000 in this checking account, guess what? You take this one checking account, or you take this one credit card, liquidate it, put $10,000 in there. If they mirror that limit, you can now go and leverage that for a 90-day deposit relationship to get access to additional $10,000 for a year. I'm gonna explain it right here. Just wanted y'all to see that. I just wanted everybody to see that so we wasn't lost. So increase consistent deposits over the course of 90 days. We take the $10,000 off of the credit card here, and then we don't put $10,000 into Bank One or Bank of America. What we're going to do is put $500 a week for the first month, or $600 a week for the first month. Then we're going to go weekly for the first month, not just total. $600 a week or $500 a week for the first month. So it's going to be $2,000 at the end of 4 weeks. The next week, we're going to go up and we're going to say we're going to do $1,000 a week. Guess what? We was at 2,000. If we done 500 for the first month. Now, if we do 1,000 for the second month, we had additional 4,000. So we at $6,000, and then you can go $1,200 or $1,300 to close out that final 90-day time frame. Now, what you have just done was look like, right? My brother Appeline, he went in and they was like, yo, I see his business is growing slowly. He's doubling his deposits. That's the key. He's doubling his deposits monthly. If he keeps going at this pace, we're going to be getting a lot of money from him in the form of deposits. So before he go to another institution and give them the deposit that he's giving to us, let's bless him whenever he asks for a credit card or a financial product. So we understand that we're going to build in a 90-day time frame. Why 90 days, Dub? Because that is how banks determine their internal bank rating based on the deposit flow or the average daily balance over the course of 90 days. I hope I didn't lose nobody there. So we built it out over the course of 90 days. And guess what? At the end of 90 days, $10,000 in the account. If they mirror the limit, we have now turned this $10,000 into an additional $10,000 at this institution. We didn't even use our money here. But guess what? We only did that for 90 days, but the credit card that we applied for gives us 0% interest for an entire year, or 0% interest for 6 months. So you only took 3 months and you bought yourself with the same exact 10,000 that they just rewarded you with. You just bought an additional 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. It's even better if they have multiple credit cards, because if they have multiple credit cards, guess what? Bank of America going to allow you to double dip. Now, what if they give you 2 credit cards to match your $10,000 limit? You turned 10,000 into 20,000 on a 90-day deposit relationship with money that wasn't even yours. And then we're going to do the same thing with Credit Union B and Credit Union C. And then depending on if this is all Equifax, you still have TransUnion and Experian clean. Or if you want to do a horizontal sequence, you went to one bank for Equifax, one bank for TransUnion, one bank for Experian. You only got one inquiry across the bureaus. So now you still looking sexy to the lenders. I hope that made sense. So it's the strategy that we got to do. Most of us is going to get access to a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 credit card, and then we're going to say, what I'm ready to invest in. How about this? Let's invest into a 2026 funding round. So that could be you get access, you going on the funding sequence to close out 2025. You may listen, and as the numbers get bigger, you're able to leverage it even more. Imagine if you do that with $100,000. $100,000 in 0% funding, you take the next 3 months and set up, let's just say 8 different banking relationships. You have 100,000, you set $20,000 to the side to service the minimum payments. And then you take 80,000 and then you do the same exact strategy that I just showed y'all. You do that with 8 institutions. If they just mirror the limits that you have in the account, you doubled up. You put $80,000 of money that was not yours for 90 days, and you put $80,000 into these different institutions. You got access to 8 different financial products. 80,000 turns into 160,000, but you took 90 days to grant you access to an additional 80,000 for a whole nother year, just off of 90 days of structuring. I hope that makes sense for y'all. Now, I know we're talking about business credit, right? Anybody that's going to tell you that you need an 80 or 90 business credit score, they don't. That's 2021, 2022, whenever we was running the Sam's play. If you've been in the game for a while, you know about the Sam's play. Oh, bro, you get you an 80 paydex score. You can go in there to Sam's and you can get you a no PG business credit card. And you can, bro, that's 2021. That's 2024 right there. So the average benchmark score for businesses in my particular NAICS code is a 44. That's the equivalent of like a 680. It's the average industry score. But whenever you have anything over that, let's just say a 57, 58, right? You are higher than what the standard for the industry are. So you don't necessarily need an 80 or 90 on your business credit score to get access to capital. As long as you are low risk or low to medium risk in the green, you good to go for funding, right? Let's see what questions we got in the cat. I mean, in the chat. Renisha, I appreciate it. Jason said he's signing up for the family. Let's get it, family. Welcome to the family. That's all I got to say. But let me finish. Listen, this ain't even it. I still got more for you, family. We also got to understand if that was the Experian Teller score, also known as your Experian Business Credit Score, we must also understand the financial stability risk rating. We want to be low risk or low to medium risk. All of this is very, very important. All right. The financial stability risk rating of a 1 indicates a 0.55 potential risk of severe financial distress within the next 12 months. So whenever I come in with a 1, guess what? Just as a quick recap, 840, depending on what FICO score you're looking at, particularly FICO bank card score, we're looking at an average of an 840 credit score. You're looking at about 300-ish thousand on the personal profile. We have about 3% utilization. Now I coming in with a 58 business credit score whenever the average for my industry is a 44. Now my financial stability risk rating is a 1. Now my SBFE risk rating, also known as SBFE risk rating, is the potential likelihood of serious credit delinquencies within the next 12 months, low to medium risk. So my SBFE risk rating is a 2. Everything is in the green. Financial stability risk rating 1, SBFE risk rating is a 2. Business credit score is a 58 compared to a 44 for industry average. Depending on what state I go into, the average credit score may be a 680. I'm at an 840. And then also the average consumer is probably going to have about $50,000, $60,000 in available credit on the personal side. I come in with 300,000. What bank is going to deny me? Not to mention that we have tax returns, we have bank statements, and listen, we got tax returns. That's even if they ask for them. They probably won't even need to ask for them because before I ask them for any money, I'm going to build out a deposit relationship with you for 90 days. So my deposit relationships are not going to be $500 a month for the first, $500 a week for the first month, because I'm leveraging higher amounts of capital. I go and get approved for $75, $100,000 business credit card. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up the account with $2,500. So within the first month, I'm doing $2,500 a week starting off. So at the end of the first month, I got 10,000. At the end of the second month, if I keep it the same, I got 20,000. At the end of the third month, come on, I got $30,000 sitting in here with $2,500 a week deposit. What bank is going to deny me with that? So if you ask me for, okay, we need some documents. Well, you see the deposits coming in with $2,500 a week for the past 90 days. Okay, do you want to see tax returns? We can give you tax returns. We can give you bank statements. And this is just with your institution. Oh, you need other bank statements for other institutions as well? Because you're not the only ones that I bank with. This is the definition of making the banks compete to lend you money, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, what would it take for you to bring the deposits at that institution's over to here? Meanwhile, family, I'm not even using my money. This is the fun part about it all, is I go and get access to $100,000 at 0% interest for a year. I liquidate the money off of the card. And then I go out and build with 8 different institutions. If they ask me for more bank statements than what they got, I'm going to submit PNC, Truist, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, American Express checking account. Oh, you need all of these? They're like, yo, like, bro, you put in $10,000 a month into 8 different. Come on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. The payment trend summary. We talked about this on the personal side, but let's get to the business side. The industry average is around 90, but we do everything 100% over here. So now, guess what? The payment trend average for this industry is 90%. We at 100%. That's another green for us. And before everybody tell you this, we add net 30s and we do this and we build out this way. This is what most people are going to tell you. But once again, you don't see many net 30. This comes from NAV, right? This comes from NAV right here. So this is what I have. I have SBFE trade lines, not net 30s. So now they come and look and they say, wait, hold up, hold up. So now we see that you have access to credit at other institutions. Now, recent high credit is very important, because if you don't use the credit, they don't know what commercial card 0038 is. It don't have a recent high, it doesn't have a recent high credit. So now guess what? It's twofold here. First thing is, okay, I need to know what business credit cards are going to report my balance to the SBFE. If they're going to report my balance to the SBFE, I have to take that into consideration with what I'm putting on the application. Because if I say I make $100,000 projected revenue, but I have $100,000 in recent high credit, or my balance is 100,000, guess what? I have to work an entire year to pay that off. So they're going to deduct that from what you put on that application. So now we must know, okay, what business credit cards are reporting. Now, on the other side of it, because remember, it's twofold. If you don't have anything reporting on here, how do they know that you have access to credit? See what I'm saying? How do they know that you have access to credit? So you must check this out. Recent high credit, 11,932. They don't see any balance up there. I need to go and update this, but y'all get my drift here. 11,932 recent high credit, balance $0. So now, as these balances are going to reflect and go down, guess what? They're going to know, and it stays up there for 6 months. So now, guess what? 3 months, sorry, 3 months on, I just found that out, 3 months. So with the 3 months, the 90-day time frame in there, they see that you carry these balances. And then whenever I have a 32,686 and then the balance is going to be 0 quarterly, guess what? On a line of credit, they say, okay, well, he's paying the money back because he recently maxed that line out or used 32,000 of it. Now it's not showing any balance that he paid it off. I'm building out internals. I hope y'all understand this part. So we don't add net 30s because they don't really do nothing for us. There's no way that you can think that you're going to walk into an institution, Chase, Wells Fargo, any of these major institutions, and get access to 150,000, 200,000 whenever you got credit builders on your profile. You don't have the solid comparables. And then you have me and my mentees coming in there. And because I'm teaching them to build like this and add things on there, let them make a little bit of money off you so you can look sexy on paper. Then whenever we go back in there, we tell them, listen, bro, like if you ain't trying to give me 100,000, like we really can't be talking right now. But you got the borrowing behavior to justify what you're asking for. I hope I'm making sense. So we don't add these. This is what everybody has been accustomed to teaching us in 2020, 2021. We add net 30s. We get our business credit up. Well, what good is a 800 credit score with credit builders? What good is a 90 business credit score with net 30s? It's the same as that thing. Give me a 58. Give me my 58 business credit score with my 17, 18 different SBFE trade lines that comes from a quality bank. This is bank issue, not no whatever the net 30 accounts is. Uline and Granger and now that's not it, fam. We build with SBFE trades, right? Business inquiries, we need to keep them low. Keep them under 5 if possible. Because we are strategic in our funding rounds. We shouldn't be, once again, if you don't have at least $50,000 in liquidity, we shouldn't be going on, 5 different funding rounds within a 90-day time frame, right? So keep the business inquiries low, and we shouldn't be doing more than that anyway, based on our level of liquidity, right? So keep the business inquiries under 5. Now, key takeaway number 1 from tonight. The quality of the accounts on your profile, along with your internal bank score, determines how the bank's going to lend to you. They judging you off of what you got on your profile. Just like, just like my king's gonna judge the queens off of who you talked to previously. It's just what it is, and vice versa. The female's gonna, well, man, I don't know. Females are a little bit different. Hope the females don't come after me, but the kings, men, we gonna judge you by who you talk to. Oh, bro, you was with him. I'm straight, bro. I'm straight. Anyway, moving on. Key takeaway number 2, without a personalized strategy, you're going to miss out on hundreds of thousands, not just thousands, hundreds of thousands in funding without the correct knowledge. We got to understand bank auditing, family. If you don't understand what banks to go to and what order to go to, what parameters to use, what they're looking for, what FICO score they're going to pull from, or they're going to put my FICO bank card score 8, they're going to put my FICO bank card score 5, what requirements are needed to get the $150,000 line of credit, what requirements are needed for the $100,000 business credit card, how many can I get in a 30-day time frame, what is the max exposure, what is the product exposure. All of these things are information that you must know, because if you don't, you're going to be settling for a $10,000 credit card or a $10,000 line whenever you should have gotten 70,000, whenever you should have gotten 80,000. All because you don't know what the maximum amount the credit card go to. Some of these banks are literally laughing in y'all face and you don't even know it. You go, they give you a $10,000 credit card with your deposit relationship, with your quality comparables. They give you a $10,000 credit card and you happy about that. Whenever the max exposure on that Chase card is easily 150,000. But you celebrating because you got a $10,000 credit, it's not making sense. So whenever you know what to expect. Don't miss out on hundreds of thousands all because you just excited with an approval. Right? Personal credit is to only be used for the structuring leading to higher limits on the business side. Right? Business credit lends anywhere from 2.5 to 5 times the amount that you have on your personal side. That's why it is so pivotal and so key for us to build out our personal side first. Don't be in a rush to get to that business side, because everything is on the basis of your personal credit. If your personal credit reflect high limit quality comparables, when you get to the business side, it is going to be a lot easier for you. My advice, once again, I'm just a guy on the internet who don't know nothing. This just for transparency for everybody. Before you go to the business side, you should want to structure that personal side, because once you complete it, this is why I always tell people, don't be in a rush to get away from that personal side. I know you're ready to get to the business to run it up. But if you take your time and you build out the personal side, you only really get one chance at this. Right? So you build it out one time. And once you build it out that first time with these quality comparables, you don't have to touch it no more. All you're going to be doing is asking for credit limit increases every 6 months or every, 3, 6, or 12 months. And then you're going to be adding to that bottom line without decreasing your age. It's a game inside of a game. All right. But here we are tonight. This is the last call of 2025 for us, man. And this by far, for each and every one of y'all who hopped on here tonight, you got something super special. Because I really dove in. I wanted to make sure I left everything on the table. and I educated as much as possible, right? To get y'all in financial position. And of course, we're gonna say that prayer again before I end it out. But anybody that wants to go, I want to meet everybody where they at. Whenever I was doing these calls and these master classes, and I was offering people things for 1997, let me be honest with y'all. I know good and well that right now is not the time to just be asking people for $2,000. You got Christmas coming up. I don't want anybody to put themselves in a financial burden. Join the $99 school community. If you can't afford a 1997, join the $99 school community. You're still going to get access to me once a month. It won't be twice a month. You're going to get access to me once a month, and you can get access to the pre-recorded calls, right? And you can kind of build out until you're ready to launch over to that route. But guess what? We originally was at 5,000. I bumped it up to 29.97, and I'm like, listen, this is where it needs to stay at. Y'all can thank Alvin in the chat, because me and Alvin argue about this price all the time. Like, duh, really, it should be 5,000. But I say, listen, man, let's. I'm gonna let you do what you do. That's why Alvin is the best, and he has it at 1997 through tonight. We're gonna go back and forth, right? And if you're looking for payment plans for this, you can email Alvin at support@reinventedconsulting.com if you are looking for a payment plan. But I'm pretty sure Alvin has already dropped that link. If you want to join the lifetime mentorship, the thing about my lifetime mentorship is as long as the good Lord is here with me, right? I'm gonna show up for y'all every other Tuesday at 8 o'clock. You're going to continuously get access. Some people has been in my mentorship since 2021. Imagine paying, and that's whenever it was 5,000. Imagine paying $5,000 in 2021, assuming that you've been to 100 calls. What that break down to? $50 a call. And imagine you getting information like this on a bi-weekly basis. We went to 3 a.m. before, right? So anyway, I'm not here to sell you. My goal tonight was to come on here and bless y'all with as much game, updated information as possible. If you can't do the 1997, perfectly fine. Do the 99. Get in with a group of people who's trying to progress and go to that next level. But if you want to go, like I said, the price won't be 1997 forever. I wish I could, but I can't. If you want to do the 1997, go ahead and hop in. That's the lowest you're going to ever see this price, right? So like I say, man, I want to kind of pray over us tonight before we get off of here. And like I say, man, I appreciate y'all for just development that y'all have allowed me to grow into this year, if that makes sense. And I know, a lot of people say a lot of things, but I genuinely, even if you're not a mentee, for y'all showing up, giving me your time, what you pour into me, it's only right that I come on here and pour into y'all, give y'all information that, once again, you probably have paid thousands of dollars for from other people, and probably still paying monthly costs for it. But anyway, I'm in this with prayer right here. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this moment and for every entrepreneur, every business owner, every visionary you've gathered here on purpose. We know this isn't on accident. This is a divine appointment. Before we ask you for anything, we honor you for what you have already done. Thank you for every open door, every client, every idea, every dollar that has touched our hands. Remind us that we don't own any of it, right? We are stewards of what belongs to you. Make us receptive of the information we're about to hear, the information that we have currently heard, remove distraction, fear, and pride, as that is not characteristics of you. Open our ears and our understanding so that we can catch the strategies assigned to us in this season. We always want to operate in divine alignment. Make us good stewards of what we already have, faithful with the small, disciplined with our spending, excellent in our work, and generous with the people that you call us to serve as we go into 2026. I ask that you bless each and every single person on this call to multiply their investments, not for greed, not for ego, not for lifestyle, so we can put our families in the best financial position according to your will. Lastly, and most certainly not least, let our children and grandchildren eat from the seeds that we plant in obedience today. And if anything that we're planting is outside of your will, completely shut it down, redirect us, realign us, and everybody eats. Amen, man. Listen, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Seriously, seriously. This will be the last one of the year. I'm coming in 2026 with a lot of new information. If you have not joined the school community, the $99 school, I'm highly recommending that you get in there. We got some new announcements coming. It's just overall, it's growth season. You see what I'm saying? I'm hearing a lot of people tell me different things about how I should be transitioning and pivoting and doing all of these things. And I was like, you know what? I think 2026 is the season for um sprouts, right? It's the season to sprout out, get out of comfortability and literally just, connect and push people on a higher level. So listen, family, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And everybody eats, man. I'm out. Peace.